Okay, so I joined this one.
Yeah, you show that one. Let's see.
Okay.
How about now? Are you there yet? You're there yet? You're already there, right?
Yes.
Okay, great. Let me see that whether we maybe that we need to turn on, like turn off that one again, and then okay, here we go. I mean, I'm going to restart. Are you
Yes.
there yet?
Yes, I'm inside. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think this one
You're
works.
there yet?
Yeah, I think this
You're
one
already
works.
there, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, great. Let me see that whether we
Yeah, I'm online.
maybe that we
Yeah.
need to turn on, like turn off that one again. And
Oh.
Can you hear us right now, everyone? Okay, here we go. I mean, I'm going to restart.
Yes. Yes, I'm inside. Okay.
Just wait, Hyder. Because
Yes.
I'm worried that what we are live streaming right now is already on Facebook, because you can go to our Facebook. You will see
Yes,
that
I
our
know.
faces.
It's already online. It's already online.
Okay, go ahead.
Actually, you can start. You can start.
Okay, go ahead.
Do you want to restart the introduction again?
Yeah, you may want to share. I think so. Just go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I think where we stopped, because there was some technical issues. All right. So where we stopped was I was sharing the 3 E's. Okay. So if you want to learn to speak confidently on camera, right, you must have the 3 E's. The first E is ease. Okay. The first E is ease. Ease means you must be very relaxed, right? Very relaxed, very chill. Because if you start to get nervous in front of a camera, no matter how many confident techniques you know, no matter how much experience you have out there on stage, right? It's very difficult if you don't even feel relaxed in your own home in front of a screen. All right. So the first one is E. The second one is energy. Okay. So when you are sitting in front of a webcam, all right, you might be sitting down. And when you're sitting down, sometimes your energy level drops a little bit. So when your energy level drops, you have to go a little bit higher, right? You want to project a little bit more enthusiasm, so the audience will not go like really bored, or so this live stream is very boring. Okay, you want to have that kind of enthusiasm, that kind of energy. So when you are speaking about something you're passionate about, that's a really good factor, because that will help you bring out the energy in you. All right. And the last E, okay, the last E is environment. All right, environment. If you want to speak confidently on camera in front of a webcam, make sure you place your laptop or whatever station that you have in a good corner of your house, so that you will have a good environment where you can just share without having any distraction, right? Maybe your cat doesn't walk in front of your desk, all right, or you don't have like your housemates walking in the background, right? So environment is really, really important. So the 3 E's, I will summarize. It's ease, it's energy, and it's environment, right? If you have these 3 E's, it's very easy for you to be confident on camera. Okay.
Yeah, great.
All right.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
I
So
think
yeah.
I think we can ask our audiences and learners to see that whether if they have any questions, Hyder. Yeah. So everyone, if you have any other questions, whenever Hyder finished 3 tips, you can comment on our Facebook, and then we're gonna take a look at your questions to address it later.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So this is what we're going to do, right? We're going to go straight into the 10 tips. All right. So how do you have this kind of confidence on camera, right? You want to memorize these 10 tips because you might need them in the next few days when this whole coronavirus crisis is still going on. You might have to make a couple more online calls, okay? So these tips will be useful if you're making video calls or webinars, or you're giving a video interview, or you have an online speech, right? An online speech that you have to give in front of a live audience, such as this one, okay? So the first tip, okay, the first tip for confidence in front of a camera is to dress for comfort and confidence. Okay, you don't want to dress in your pajamas, in your house clothes. I know it's very tempting because you're at home, right? Like, why do I even need to dress up? Okay, but the way you dress will affect how your audience sees you, right? The appearance and the first impression you make on the audience, it will always be there, right? Regardless of whether you're speaking on stage, outside, or inside your house in front of a camera. All right, so the appearance you have will affect the impression you make. Okay, doesn't matter camera or stage. All right. So let's move on to the second one. The second one is to improve your posture, right? To improve your posture. Now, when you're sitting in front of a camera, it's very easy for you to slouch, right? Then you have like slouch. Okay, so you're in front of a camera, if you look like this, it's very hard for you to project that kind of confidence. So I would really recommend, okay, to sit back on your chair, right? Make sure you have a good chair with you. Right, make sure you have a good chair. You position your camera correctly so that you look as if you're standing up and you have that good posture. Okay, so roll your shoulders back a little bit. Okay, sit upright. Okay, and then just relax. Relax. So when you relax, your audience can see if you are relaxed or not. Right, it's very easy to see that. Okay, so any questions so far? If there are no questions, I will just go on. Right. I will just go on. Right.
Yeah, not yet.
Okay, shall I continue?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So number three. Okay, this one is very important. Okay, this one is very important. Tip number 3 is have talking points. Don't have a script. Don't have a script. All right. So some people, they would feel like, okay, so if I want to speak in front of a camera, right, I need to have some sort of a script that I can read. But then when you read in front of your screen, the people, okay, I'm reading in front of my screen, the script is, the people can see, right? People can see it. So what you want to do is you want to try to avoid a script, but you want to try to have bullet points.
Yeah.
Okay, what I like to call talking points. Okay, so pretend you are like a talk show host, right? You have talking points. You don't want to have the whole script there, because if you have the whole script there, it's hard for you to have a conversation with the audience. Okay, so the talking points part is really, really important. So that's tip 3. Okay, have talking points, don't have a script. All right, you want to be conversational with the audience. Okay, so number 4. All right, tip number 4. Tip number 4 is have a pre-camera routine. Okay, pre-camera routine. What is that? Before you go online, make sure you do certain things to help you relax. Okay, make sure you don't be like, okay, I'm starting work and then immediately I need to take a conference call. Right? It's very difficult because now you need context switch. Okay, so what I like to do, even before this particular call or this Facebook Live, I would listen to some music, right? The music that I like, so just to help me get to a very relaxed, confident state, so that when I come online, I'm not in a panicky state. Okay, I look very chill, very calm, and that helps me to present. All right, so that's tip number 4. Have a pre-camera routine. Do the things that you like before going onto the conference call. All right, I think so far so good, right? So we have 6 tips left. Number 5. Number 5 is set clear boundaries. Okay, set clear boundaries. Now, why is this important? Most of the time, okay, especially now, when you want to do a live conference call, you are not at the office, right? You are at home. At home, you have your mom, you have your dad, you have your brother, your sister, you have your cat. Everyone is at home. Okay, so it's very difficult for you to say, okay, everyone, please keep quiet. I'm going to have a conference call now. It's very difficult to do that, right? So what you want to do is you want to communicate, right? Just communicate with them that, okay, at this time, around 8 p.m. to 9 p.m., I'm going to have a conference call. So everyone, please stay outside. Okay, stay outside and just have some clear boundaries. For me, I can speak confidently like this because my room is closed, right? Everyone is outside. Okay, and I let my family know. So in in my the family WhatsApp group. We'll have a seminar at 8 p.m. Please don't come inside my room around that time. Okay, so setting clear boundaries is also really, really important. Okay, so that's tip number 5. All right, now tip number 6. Okay, tip number 6 is very much related to tip number 5, and that is to ensure there's no distractions in the background. Now, I know my background is a little bit distracting because there's like how many stars, right? So the people who are bored listening to my voice right now, you can count how many stars in the background. Okay, but as much as possible, ensure that no distractions in the background. You want to sit behind a wall, just like how Lan Anh is doing right now, right? So how I'm doing right now also. So some people, they would sit at a desk, and then there's many things like their closet in the background, and then their girlfriend walks in, and then their cat walks in. So you're like, there's so many distractions, right? So it's very hard for you to be confident when you keep seeing your family members in the background. Right? You want to stop. You don't want to have to do that. Okay, so you want to position your desk or your laptop in a place that is comfortable for you. Remember the third E, right? The third E is environment. So ensure no distractions in the background. At least have a wall or have something that's neutral in the background so your audience can concentrate on your face and not everything else. Okay, now tip number 7. All right, tip number 7. Yeah. Is there a question? All right. So what's the question? Can you let me know, because I don't see the Facebook. I'm on this app.
Yeah, because in Vietnam,
yes.
Yeah, I'm reading it right now for you. Because in Vietnam, that whenever we have the online meeting with our colleagues and managers, usually that Vietnamese people, we don't turn on our camera. We just only use our voice and also the slide in order to present online. In that case, what is your recommendation in order to address our confidence with the body language? Or what are the factors we can use in order to enhance your confidence at that time?
Okay, so if your screen is dark and the audience cannot see your face, then it doesn't really matter, isn't it? Right? It doesn't really matter if you are doing all this and you are sitting upright, because people cannot see. Okay, but you must always remember that people can still hear. Okay, so if let's say my posture is like this, right, and if I speak, I'll speak like, right, so people can hear if you are speaking in a less than average voice. All right, you are not at the top of your confidence. People can hear that. Okay, so as much as possible, if let's say you don't want to show your face, okay, that's fine. If the context demands it, but I would really recommend to practice showing your face, because that's the only way you can start building your confidence. Yes. Okay. So for me, So for me, when I speak in front of a camera, I'm used to seeing my face there on the screen. So I know what my face looks like. So when it happens, then I can sort of practice and get more confident doing it. Yeah.
If I understand correctly, it means your posture also affect your voice as well. As if you slam your chair.
Yes.
Yeah, that's your voice.
Yes. So there's a trend now that in like workspaces, they would actually have standing desk, standing office. So you stand up and you do your work, but you don't have a chair. Okay. And they would actually do their web conferences like standing up. So it's actually a little bit different. It's actually a little bit different, yeah, as compared to sitting down. Because if you sit down, naturally your energy will drop just a little bit. All right.
Your body language affects your mood a lot.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Another question is that how do we keep participants engaging in the conversation?
Okay. So how do you keep participants engaged in the conversation? Is to have a conversation with the audience, right? Is to have a conversation with the audience. So as much as possible, if let's say you are just very monotonous and you're speaking like this, and for the rest of the presentation, you just okay, no matter what I say, even if the points are really, really good, it's actually going to be very hard to engage the audience, right? So after a while, the audience will be like, oh, what is this? And then they will just turn off, okay? Because it is not engaging at all. So the rule is very simple. Speak on camera just as how you would speak on stage. Okay, if you were to present in front of an audience, if let's say you were to present in front of your friend, would you speak any differently? No, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you want to maintain that same kind of delivery, right? If you can practice that same kind of delivery, then no matter where you go, you can be confident no matter what medium you're using.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
It means that it doesn't matter if you present online or you present offline. It's on, we also need to have the full energy in order to engage the audience, right?
Yes, yes. Energy can transfer regardless of whatever medium you're using. So if you're sitting in person, or you're speaking in front of a camera, or you're speaking on your phone, people can still tell, right?
Yeah.
There's a weird thing whereby if you smile, right? If you smile when you talk, people on the other side can hear your smile. How do they do that, right? But they can hear that you are happy when you speak, right? Simply because you smile when you speak, like this. Okay, so people still can hear.
Yeah. Okay, I see. One of the interesting questions one of our learners asked me this afternoon is that when you talk online or on the camera like this,
Yeah.
it's hard to catch the message if the speaker speaks too fast. How can we manage our pace when speaking? Yeah,
Okay.
that is the question.
So
Yeah.
the most important part is when you're speaking in front of a camera, right? You're used
Yeah.
to speaking at a certain voice, or at a certain pace. Okay, you must let your audience know that if you're speaking too fast and then there was some connection error and they didn't catch what you just mentioned, okay, let them know. Right? Let them know that okay, please interrupt me if I'm speaking too fast. Okay, that's the most important. You must have that conversation with your audience, like how we're doing now. Okay, so right now I cannot actually see the Facebook questions, but I can only see my screen from my slides. Okay, so that's why I need Lan Anh here to assist me.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So it's good to have that feedback. Yeah.
And you have the rare rules first, right? Like you're gonna inform the audience in advance that if you realize that I'm speaking too fast, just let me know.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. And everyone, this is another rare rules that because we about to answer all of your questions if you may help. So please help us to comment on our Facebook. And we're gonna take a look at your questions and we make sure that we're gonna address all of your questions you may have. Another thing is that if you recognize our live stream is useful to a lot of people, please help us share with the other learners and friends in your page. Appreciate that too much. And let's come to the next tip, Hyder.
All right. Okay. So
Yeah.
now we are at tip number 7. Okay, we're at tip number 7. Now, tip number 7 is to always have water on standby. Okay, always have water on standby, because if you get thirsty in the middle of your call, you want to just reach out and then just drink it. All right, you have a glass of water. It's very easy for you to quench your thirst and easy for you to get back into the presentation. Because if I'm thirsty right now, okay, I have like a light in front of me. If I'm thirsty right now, if I'm feeling hot, then I'll say, okay, can you pause the live stream for a while? I need to go out and get my glass of water. Right? You would take up people's time. And then by the time, when is he coming back? I think he went to the washroom. Okay, so you want to minimize all this by having water. For me, I go all the way, right? I have water, and then I have another water. So I try to go a little bit above and beyond. Okay, now in addition to this, also you want to avoid eating certain foods that will cause a lot of mucus in your throat before you want to speak online. So these are things like dairy, okay, like milk, ice cream, and all these things. Don't eat this before your live stream, all right? Don't eat this before your web conference. Okay, coffee, right? Coffee or anything that has a lot of caffeine in it, try to avoid it. Spicy foods, all right, spicy foods, soft drinks, or like sugary refined foods, try to avoid all these things. Okay, because when you eat all these things, the mucus will build up, and then you might end up having to throughout the entire conference call. And that can get a little bit distracting for some people. Okay, but the water solves it. So if you have water, then that's good. And also try to avoid drinking alcohol. Try to avoid drinking alcohol before your conference call. Then you drink a lot, then you right. So you may be confident, but I don't think the people on the other side will be more confident in you, right? Now they can see that you're drinking. Okay. All right. So that's tip number 7, right? Very clear. All right. So now tip number 8. Okay. Tip number 8 is a very special one. Tip number 8 is to request, if let's say you're speaking on Zoom, right? This is a Facebook. Facebook Live is different, right? But if you're speaking on Zoom or Skype and all these other Google Hangouts, right? All the different web conferences where there's multiple people, you want to request. Tip number 8 is to request for your listeners to show their face. Okay, to show their face, but to mute their audio. Okay, so you don't need to hear their voice, but you want to see their voice. Okay, so for right now, I can see Lan An's face. Okay, so when I speak, Lan An goes like, right? That's good for me, right? That's good for me because that's making me confident. Okay, somebody is listening to me, but I cannot see the rest of you who are at home. Okay, so if I'm speaking to a black screen, it's very difficult for me to, are they listening or maybe Lan An is like falling asleep already. So I won't know. But if you request for your listeners to turn on their webcam and you can have that visual feedback, that will give you confidence. Okay, that will give you the confidence. All right, so that happened to me also when now even in Toastmasters we have online meetings. So all the other members, they will turn off they will mute, the audio will be muted, but I can see their faces. So it's good for you as the speaker. All right, so that's tip number 8.
Yeah, Hyder, encourage that your audience doesn't have positive face, just like I do. I try to not in order to encourage you. How should you react to those negative faces?
Negative is like, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So as much as possible, try to ignore these people who try to make all these funny faces. Okay. Or you could, if you are the host, right? If you are the host and you're using Zoom and all that, you can actually turn off their video. You can turn off their video if they're causing you a lot of problems, right? But if they're not the host, then you might want to stop for a while and then say, hey, what was that, right? I see you made a very funny face. What was that all about? Okay, you can call them out for it. Yeah. So I've tried that before because I give workshops online as well. So there'll be some people who or they're busy eating and I'm like, oh, that looks good. I want some of that. Yes.
Great. Yeah. Keep moving on.
Yeah. Okay. Any questions so far? Do we have questions in the Facebook before we move on to the last 2 tips?
Oh, okay. We have here how to raise the energy of the audience online.
Okay. How do you raise the energy of the audience online? Now, it's very difficult for you to raise the energy of the audience even in live, right? Even in front of an audience. So how about online, right? So the only thing, okay, always remember the only thing you can control is your own energy. Okay, the only thing you can control is your own energy. So imagine if we are sitting here in a live, right? We are sitting here live and I'm speaking to all of you in front of a live audience. So as the speaker, you must always set the energy higher than the audience. The audience can generate, right? But you as a speaker, you have to be a little bit higher. Okay. So if you want to make the audience engage with you, you want the audience to raise their energy, you have to set an example.
Yeah.
Okay. You have to set an example.
Yeah. One of the things that I just learned recently, Hyder, that is about mirror neuron. If you have heard about this term, mirror neuron. It means that whenever you want the audience to do, you just volunteer to do it first. It means if you want to be energetic, just do it first, and then the audience is going to be inherited by that energy by you as well.
That's right. Yeah. So mirror neurons are the same ones that when somebody laughs, you also laugh. Yeah. When somebody smiles, you also, and somebody's like, okay, then your brain also picks up like, okay. So you always reflect the emotion. You always want to reflect the audience or your emotions to the audience.
Yeah. Okay. Another one is that they asked how to maintain stable voice but not losing your voice without drinking water, because usually that when we have meeting in Vietnam we just make it for around 30 minutes. Yeah.
Okay, so why can't you drink water?
I think that she doesn't want you to.
You don't want to stop, you don't want to have that interruptions, is it?
I think so.
Okay, so can you repeat the question to me?
The question is
how do you
that,
maintain a stable voice, is it?
yeah, how do we maintain a stable voice without losing our voice? And we don't need to drink water as well.
Okay, so the most important thing is when you are giving your speech, okay, you don't want to think about what's going to happen to my voice or what's going to happen with my body language and all that. Focus on one thing. And that one thing is to share or convey your message to the audience. Now, as long as you are in the process of doing that, you or your mind will not get distracted with a lot of other things. If you are feeling self-conscious about, is my collar good, or is my voice okay, or I ate something spicy, if you're thinking about all this before your speech, it's likely that that's going to sabotage you when you go out and speak in front of a stage or in front of a camera as well. Okay, so make sure you have your talking point, like in tip number 3, right? Have your talking points and just keep focusing on sharing your points one after another, and just keep focusing on delivering that value to the audience, because that is my state. So I never have this problem where my energy would drop, because for me I still have many other tips, I still have many things I want to share. Okay, so it's not so much of your body, but it's really all in your mind.
Okay, got it. Very great point. Another question I just saw here is how we can maintain our pace.
Okay, maintain pace as in what? Maintain pace as in the speed of your voice?
Just maintain pace.
Okay, speak at the same rate. Speak at the same rate, right? So you don't necessarily need to maintain pace, okay? Because if you maintain pace the same pace throughout, sometimes the audience can be a bit bored if you want to maintain pace. Instead, what you want to do is, at some parts of your speech, you can speed up if you're not speaking anything important, or you can slow down when you want to convey something very important. Okay, so don't think about maintaining your pace. In fact, think of just speaking naturally and speaking with different forms of varying your pace.
Yeah, it means we can understand when we should raise up our voice and when should we lower our voice in order to create the intonation, right? Yeah, and it's really important because if we just only have not face-to-face meeting like this, but we just only turn off our camera, voice plays a very important role.
That's right.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Another question is, since COVID-19 has accelerated our digital transformation, what is your thought on this statement?
It's good. It's good.
Yeah.
It's getting all of us to adapt, right? So here's a funny story. Before this, I don't like to do online conferences, or I don't like to do online coaching, because it's not the same, right? It's not the same as when you sit down with a person, then there's the energy, right? There's the bond, there's the connection with you and the person. Okay, but when you're online, you're like, this is a little bit awkward. I'm at home, and I'm not dressed as my best. I cannot be in my red blazer, right? So it's different, okay? But these are all excuses. Right? These are just excuses. These are excuses for you not to adapt. So I think, like what you mentioned, the COVID-19, the coronavirus, because of the situation, it's accelerating digital transformation. It's getting all of us to hop on the boat. Okay, if we don't hop on the boat, we're going to be swimming, right? You don't want to be swimming when everyone else is taking the boat. Yep.
It means that we just need to adapt with it, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why that after there's and weeks spending time alone, and finally that I just come up with the idea to create a new course for EIY Hyder, which is about how we teach people how to work online effectively.
Awesome.
Yeah, and because of this 20 minutes to adapt with that.
Yes.
Okay, another one is, do you think addressing warmth and confidence are very critical to project your confidence when speaking on the camera?
Do I think that warmth and confidence is important?
Competence,
Competence. Okay.
yeah,
So,
is critical.
okay. So, competence is definitely critical because if you don't know what you're talking about, then people will know, right? You can be a very persuasive, very nice, your voice is very nice, your body language is very good. But if your point doesn't make any sense, your audience is not going to take you seriously, all right? So competence is definitely important, and it's also important to have that warmth.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah, sure. Can you elaborate warmth and confidence in this case?
So we talk about competence, right? Competence is knowing what you're saying, knowing what you say, what you do, and how you.
Mm,
Okay, what you say, who you are, and what you do are all aligned, right? That's called congruency. Okay, congruency has a lot to do with competence. Okay, I
mm,
can say that I have all these achievements and I've done coaching for many companies, but when you hear
mm,
me talk, you're like, ah, this guy, you're like, right? So it that kind of impression, the competence that you convey to others, right, can be seen, right? Your credibility can be seen. Okay, warmth has a lot to do with your personality. Okay,
yeah.
so warmth can be seen through your body language, your voice,
Mm,
okay, and also the way your facial expressions, right? So if I keep
mm,
smiling all the time, okay, or if I'm smiling and I'm having fun, okay, and I have very open gestures and all these things, right? Warmth also can be seen with the way you use your hands as well, okay, and
mm,
also your voice. So to
yeah,
convey this warmth, you must have all these little things. Okay, you must be a
mm,
warm person yourself in order to have that warmth.
yeah,
Yes, and people will be able to connect with that.
yeah. So it means warmth is related to your personality, and confidence is more about your abilities, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, understand. And those are two ways our learners you can consider applying in your online presentation. Consider what is the personality you want to show to the audience, and also what is your competence that you want
Mm.
to address to show that you're capable of doing that.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
So when it
Okay.
comes to warmth and competence, competence is
Mm,
make sure you have all your talking points. So you come prepared, right? Coming prepared is also a really important aspect of presentation. And when it comes to warmth, try to smile as much as possible. Okay.
Okay, go ahead. Hide the next tip.
Okay. So the next tip is smile. Okay. So the tip number 9. Okay. Tip number 9 is to have good face lighting. Okay. To have good face lighting. Like
Mm,
now you can see my face very clearly. You can see Lan Anh's face very clearly, but it's only because the lighting in our environment is really good. For me, I'm using like a table lamp. So if I turn it off, right, I'll look like this. Okay. Now this is okay. It's still like at home. It's sort of professional, but when you have a really good lighting, okay, it shows. All right, it shows in your confidence. People can see your face clearly, and people will take you more seriously. Okay, so you want to invest in a good table lamp, all right, or have like a good lighting source in front of your screen, so you don't have to rely on the laptop screen or the computer screen. If not, it will look very dark outside. Okay, right? And if people cannot see your face, right? If people cannot see your face, it's hard for them to trust you. Okay, if people cannot see your face, it's hard for them to trust you. Why do you think all those criminals, they wear masks, right? They wear masks. You cannot see their face because they don't want you. They are not meant to be trusted. Okay,
mm,
right? But showing your face is very essential for you to project that kind of confidence and also competence.
yeah.
Okay, so tip number 9: have good face lighting. Okay.
But in case your colleagues and your managers they didn't turn on their camera. and you really want to show your face at that time, because that is one of the ways you can engage with your audience. What do we solve this case?
Okay, you can ask permission, right? Is it okay if you turn on your camera? Because I think with your face on the screen, it's much easier for me to be able to relate to you. Okay? You can ask permission. If they say, oh no, I haven't put my makeup on, or I haven't showered, then okay, you turn it off. Then leave it off. I don't want to see. All right.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So last tip for today, right? Last tip is tip number 10. Tip number 10 is have fun. Okay, tip number 10 is have fun. When you want to speak, you want to be confident, right? It's very important for you to be having a good time. Because if you're feeling very awkward, very like inhibited, people can see it. And the thing is, you don't want to try to be perfect. Right? Don't try to be perfect. Like for example, like for me, I can see this hair like here, right? Don't need to try to be perfect. If my collar is not aligned, or maybe my wire is getting in my face or something like that, ignore all this. Okay, don't need to try to be perfect. Let go of your script, right? Have certain talking points, so it's easy for you to just chat with your audience and just have fun. Okay, because when you have fun, your audience have fun, and then both of you will be able to relate and trust each other. Okay, that is where confidence comes from. Okay, confidence comes from being secure in who you are as a person. Okay, so that's tip number 10. Have fun.
Have fun. Yeah, definitely. Another one, we have two more questions. I think that the question is really interesting, Hyder.
Please.
How can you keep calm when talking to your boss in front of the camera? Because you're gonna be like heart attack when you talk to your boss.
Okay, so how do you keep calm talking to your boss if it's not in front of a camera? How do you do it?
Just talk.
Just talk, right? Again, so in front of a camera, just talk. Really, like your boss is not any different person in front of a screen and in real life. He's pretty much still the same person. Okay, so if you are worried about how you will come across to your boss and all that, then follow all these 10 tips that we mentioned. I'm sure your boss will be very happy and really want to talk to you. Okay.
Yeah, I think that she nervous either, and usually that she easily forget what she's going to say. So in this case, we can help her, because like when you have the online interview, sometimes that you're also nervous before the interview as well, because you don't really know what the other people thinking, and they may judge you at that time. How should we overcome nervousness when we talk to our boss online like this, and maybe that she was afraid of forgetting what she about to say?
Okay, so this is one tip that I can share, and that is before the interview or before you talk to your boss. Okay, turn on your webcam on your computer. Like turn on your webcam. You'll be able to see your face, right? You'll be able to see only your face. So what you want to do is you want to practice speaking to yourself first. Okay, practice speaking to yourself. Practice all the answers that your interviewer or your boss will ask you. Okay, so if you are able to do that comfortably even without your boss around, okay, then it's very likely that when your boss is around and on the screen, all you have to do is just repeat back whatever you just practiced. Okay, so that is how I overcame my nervousness in front of a camera. Okay, I just speak to myself in front of a camera. Yeah, and it's very powerful. You should try it, right? So if you're not used to showing your screen, you're not used to showing your face, okay, it's about time that you start practicing. Yeah, you want to be confident speaking to yourself alone before you will have an audience. Okay, because in the near future, you will be required to speak in front of your boss or an audience. Okay, so you want to start practicing from now.
Yeah, sure. That's a very great tip, because we can actually rehearse when we speak on camera like this before you talk to your boss, right?
Yes. So you know before this particular Facebook Live, before this call, I had my webcam on for the past 1 hour. Yes, and I was doing funny faces.
I see.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, another question is that how we can make sure the audience being connected during your online speeches and your message is clearly delivered. So two questions actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how do you make sure the audience follows?
Mm-mm.
Okay. And the second one is how do you make sure it's clearly delivered? So
Yep, right.
very simple. If there's a chat, okay, if there's a chat, what you want to do is just like right now, okay, before your presentation, you let your audience know that if you don't follow what I say, okay, please type it in the chat. Please say that, okay, Hyder, can you repeat back your earlier point? Okay, so
Yep.
if you are able to look at the chat and then you can see, then you're like, okay, then you just repeat back whatever you just mentioned. Okay, and the second tip, I want to give you is that always summarize and restate your points. Okay, always summarize and restate your points. Just like how me and Lan Anh, we arrange, right? Every few points we will stop to take questions and then we move on. We don't just go straight to the 10 tips, right? So at different intervals, stop and ask your audience, okay, do you have any questions? Then you wait, look at the chat. No questions. Okay, so let's continue. Okay.
But yep, so it means that just keep our interaction with the other audience right by asking them and make
Yes.
sure that they engaged.
Yes, you will do the same if it's a live audience. You will do the same if it's
Yep.
a live audience. So even if you're speaking in front of an audience, not in front of a camera, but in real life or on stage in a workshop, you will do the same thing.
Sure.
Yeah.
The great thing about the workshop is that you can have the direct eye contact with them either. But for this reason, I used to conduct the online workshop recently, and I just realized that I need to look at each screen and to make sure that they all follow me. So it's
Yes.
even much harder compared to the live one, like
Yes.
the real one. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So a very simple tip is to do what I'm doing right now. Okay. So for me, I know that if I'm making eye contact with you, I need to look right in the camera right here. Okay. That's how I make eye contact with you. So if I need to refer to something on my screen, or if I'm waiting, if you are speaking, and then I would look at my screen and I look at your face, right? So now I'm looking at your face. I'm looking at your face, then I'm looking at you, right? I'm looking at your face, then I'm speaking to you. Okay? So no need to fix everything on the screen, right? You don't need to stare at the screen either, right? You just have to just gaze at the screen or gaze in your camera, right? Gaze in your webcam as if you're speaking to someone else there. Okay? Pretend there's someone there, right? And your audience is all looking at you through that particular webcam. So it's okay for you to look here, look there. It's fine. It's fine because this is a web conference. So I think people understand when you don't have that clear eye contact with them.
Yeah. I realized that sometimes whenever I ask you the questions, I may need to look at the camera lens. And whenever I want to make sure that the other audiences they also engaged in my section, I also need to look at their screen in order to see what they are doing right now. This is one of the other ways that you can consider in order to make sure that your attendees are engaging in your section by looking at the screen. But most of the time, whenever we speak on the camera, we need to look at the camera lens, right?
Yep. You can look at the camera lens if you want to have that eye contact with the audience. Okay. If you want to have that eye, you can do so, right? If not, you can just continue to look at the screen like this. Okay. But it doesn't have that same effect. Right? It doesn't have that same effect. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that we have 4 minutes left before we end our live stream today. And I believe that we already addressed all of the questions of our audiences. Audience, if you have another question, please just comment on our live stream and then we're gonna address immediately. And otherwise, that I would like to summarize our live stream today. So we've been through together around 10 tips in order to speak confidently on the camera. Hyder, would you like to go through 10 tips again in summary?
Okay. All right. So I'll summarize the 10 tips. However, if you want the slides, Okay, if you want the slides for this particular, because we are unable to show you the slides, we do have slides for this particular session of the workshop. All right, please send Lan Anh your name and email after this. Okay, and just private message to EIY Public Speaking. All right, so the 10 tips. Okay, so before the 10 tips, we talked about the 3 things, the 3 E's. All right, that if you want to speak confident on camera, you must have these 3 E's. The 3 E's is ease. Okay, ease, energy, and environment. Okay, ease is feeling relaxed, comfortable. Energy, being enthusiastic. All right, and the last one, environment, is to have a good space, a space with no distractions. All right. Now, 10 tips. The first tip is dress for comfort and confidence. Okay. Second tip is to improve your posture. Sit upright, roll your shoulders back so you look confident. Right. Number 3 is to have talking points. Right. Don't have a script, but have talking points or bullet points that you can occasionally refer to. Number 4 is to have a pre-camera routine. Drink water, go and dance, go and listen to some music, go and watch some funny videos to get yourself in a good state before you come on camera. Number 5 is set clear boundaries. Let the people in your house know that you are about to have a webcam, so don't disturb you. Okay. Tip number 6, ensure that there are no distractions in the background. All right, ensure that no distractions in the background. Number 7 is have water on standby, and don't eat spicy food, or don't drink, or don't eat dairy before the web conference. Tip number 8 is to request to see your audience's face, okay, but mute their audio. Tip number 9 is have good face lighting, all right, and number 10 is have fun, because if it's not fun, what's the point?
Yeah, right. I realized that happiness is one of your values in life.
Exactly. Yeah. If you don't have fun, people won't have fun, and people don't want to listen to you, right? Blah, blah, blah. Okay. So just be easy about it, and it's really nothing. There's nothing to be ashamed about. Okay. Speaking in front of camera is something that you want to be proud of. Okay. It's something you want to be proud of, something you want to show. Okay. So be comfortable and just be confident.
Yeah. I realize that the digital age gives us a lot of benefits, Hyder, because even though that you are living in Singapore right now and I'm in Vietnam, but I just feel that I'm still close to you, you're still close to me. You are a camera. And
Yes, because we have the warmth and the competence.
Yeah, you're right. You're speaking of my heart, speaking out of my heart. I appreciate so much for your participation today, and on the behalf of our members and EIY public speaking learners, I feel very thankful for that because of your time and also your preparation to join this event. And I believe that it's really useful for them since that they move to study online and work online very often, not only right now, but also in the future as well.
Yep.
Very
Thank you so
thankful.
much.
Yeah. And everyone, next week on Thursday, on April 16, we will invite another speaker to talk about how to influence in digital age. At this time, we won't talk about how to present or how to speak to inform anymore, but we need to focus on how you can persuade, how you can influence, or how you can inspire your listeners. And that is another stage of public speaking, and it's much harder compared to just to deliver the information to the audience. Deliver information is hard, but actually influence is much harder. That is the higher level of public speaking, and that session will be conducted by Mr. Mohammed Isa. He's a former regional finance manager at Unilever. I believe that with his corporate world experience, we can learn so many things from him in order to influence your listeners or even your boss or your colleagues. And thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today and for your question as well. We wish you have a great night and stay safe. Thank you, Hyder. We can say goodbye to our participants.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Please stay safe and stay confident.
Yeah. Alo, Phúc đến chưa? Ok. Ê, nói nghe nè, sao tắt được cái livestream vậy? Tôi tắt rồi mà sao nó vẫn đang live trên Facebook á ông ơi? Không biết cách này. Chết mượn. Để tắt khúc Phúc ơi. Trời ơi, sao tắt vậy trời? Không được.